We
All
are
I want to know.
fucked.
Oh no!
How many
You're just
snakes
now
are-
getting here?
I can show you the world.
I am recording then. Okay.
We
Terrible,
can't live
turbulent.
forever.
Yeah, you're right. So, let's get back into this, as Sajar has sort of like this catatonic ping happen instead of
Just staring at a
basically
wall.
like, yeah. It's like being like, is that getting pulled for an out-of-body experience?
Oh, yeah, I completely know exactly what you mean.
So.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys go to the two-tone, huh?
How's yours
No,
looking?
I wait on Stajar.
You guys can walk with Sajar. Like he's able to be moved. It's like It's like using your familiar senses. So it's like you're not like dead to the world, but you are like focusing on the senses of your familiar. It's like that. So you guys are
we
free
just
to
have
like walk
pull
him around.
like one side of the street or the other, so he doesn't ram into someone occasionally. But that's about it.
Correct.
Put a hand on
Mhm.
someone's shoulder, follow along.
Honestly, I might make that an actual spell
Hmm.
that like you guys could have like more. I guess it's sort of similar to astral projection, but like a lower, because astral projection I think is like a fucking 8th level spell. Knife.
It's high.
Conference call.
Yeah, conference call.
call.
Discord conference call. 0 level spell. Just require material component. ISP.
Satellite.
ISP.
Yeah, so maybe we can make that as like a I don't know, like
in-game are
a
like,
5th
"What
level
the fuck
spell.
is an ISP? Is that an eldritch god?
Well, you gotta
I know, but
tune
you ain't
into
get
your
it.
Picture crystal, because I can't get a clear visual of your face.
You need ascendant stone and and ascendant screen. And to send a microphone.
Silva
Anyways.
provider.
Anyways, so you guys head with Sajar to the two-tone? Question mark.
Walk and talk.
Ryder. You guys walk and talk on your way there. I see you guys had a little bit of discussion. I didn't open it up yet. Game general, there it is. Vadivar's first one. Okay. Nice.
We don't have their name. I was just writing it down.
Yeah.
We're just
Yeah,
talking.
I figured you guys are probably just talking out of game. Well, me and Fred are over there. So yeah, you guys make it over to the two-tone. It is a glass front, well, not glass, but windowed front shop that sits on the first floor of what looks to be like a 2-story building, and the upper story, the second story, is residential. So like people live above the shop, or the person that owns the place lives in the place above, that operates the shop, so on and so forth. There are like a couple of people in there, people that are a bit more, how to say, your guys' speed, with not to say necessarily adventurers, but more of like they're travelers.
Mm-hmm. That's a question. Okay. Does all the stuff they have here look like pristine? Like unused?
Remember perception.
I can roll that, because I
Can I
had
also
an idea.
roll?
You can roll perception, sure.
Sure. Okay.
All right.
Hot dice.
Silas, yeah, it's a bit hard to see from the distance though, so it's hard to tell until you guys actually get into the shop, get up close to it. Oriana, yes and no. The items that they have for sale do look relatively pristine, like they were made recently and so on. It's not like they're buying used merchandise like a pawn shop. That being said, there is a section of less than pristine stuff, which might be secondhand. That's in fairness, or given how deconstructed some of them look, it looks like almost like a repair shop as well. Like there was someone able to like repair
That makes
like
sense. That makes sense.
different brakes or anything on like a guitar, or
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is a fucking pain in the ass, let me tell you. But when you have the power of skill, maybe not.
That would make
Not
sense.
magic,
I
though.
feel
No,
that'd be
fuck that
like a rare industry. So being like one of the only 2 shops in town, that'd probably be smart to have.
So it does seem like it has other items other than pristine merchandise, but whether or not that's up for sale or more that's a service, God has a store owner, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, as of right now, there are like 2 other people in there other than the shop owner, who is like this sort of tall. I say tall and live. He's an elf, so tall and live is sort of the general disposition for elves. It's like 6'2" elf. Yeah, bit of a leaner build. That's like the main receptionist guy that you guys can see from the window front. He does have like a bit of long hair that's like all pulled back and tied back. Sort of like you ever see like a Japanese blacksmith where there's like they just have like a wrap around their head, just like that. I guess they're not just Japanese blacksmiths, I guess European blacksmiths. Blacksmiths in general. Yeah, so who goes inside?
Dallas will go.
I will go.
Ariana does. I have intrigue.
We'll pull Sajar in if.
At this point, Sajar will be back to consciousness.
Okay.
Plucks him through the. Oh, okay.
No wake me up inside jokes or anything like that.
You're just suddenly there. It's like, oh yeah, this is what reality's like. Okay.
Yeah. I will say to you, Fred, like when you're having that conversation, it was as if you two were in like this sort of not demi-plane, but it was like a place where it was just you two and everything else was like just sort of like vague and blank.
Kind of
Like you can sort of see like her background, which is like all like verdant and colorful, but just blurred, almost like they're scrying on each other.
Okay, so it's kind of like standing in the center of a deep fog.
Yeah, but you can still see like the place where you guys are in, respectively, like where she's at, where you're at. You guys can both see each other's locales.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Again, might make that like a 5th level spell. I think that's interesting, as opposed to waiting to fucking 8th or 9th level for astral projection, which is cursed. Laughs and Monk, who could just start doing that shit once per long rest at like level 18.
At level, it's irrelevant to that point.
Yeah, if you want to go Obi-Wan and like be a Force ghost next to Yoda at someone, yeah, sure. Anyways, so you guys enter into the three of you, from the sounds of it, Oriana, Alexander, Size. You guys enter into the two-tone shop, and as the bell goes, ding, store door opens up. The elf who's talking to one of the other customers. There's like a big guy looking at some of the guitars, and then there's like this more of a average height lady. She's short compared to the big guy talking with the store owner right now. He's like, oh, welcome in, feel free to peruse around. I'll get to you shortly. Let me know if anything comes up.
Yeah, Oriana
Cool.
like, gives him a little nod.
Us is the same.
Do the musical instruments have like tags on them, or just like what the prices are?
We should.
They do. Not
Okay.
tags on them directly, but they're like little
Little cards or
pen,
something. That are
like
on it.
little cards, yeah, that are in front of them.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's not a couple $100 for a fucking harmonica here.
It's like
That would be pretty funny if it happened again, and then you guys are just getting a steal at the other shop for having a
yeah,
magic
this place is
harmonica
actually
at
like
200.
350.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny. That was actually a cursed item shop. That's why it's called the last pit. This was the last one you ever made.
Last one you
Oh
ever
my
want to
God.
make too. How do you make money stay
But
in
no.
business? Oh, I have like a side business. This is just for the kicks.
Yeah, no, this is like way, way more on your guys' price level in terms of quote unquote reason.
Nice. So also look around for harmonicas.
Yeah, there's like a little stand, a glass stand, not built into the reception desk, but right directly off next to it, to the left. Assume you're facing it from the doorway itself, the entryway.
Yep.
It's off to the left.
Yeah.
It's like 7 foot tall, like glass stand, like the sort of shit you would see someone put anime figurines in. Like that.
No.
Yeah, but don't worry, there's no anime figurines in it. It's just harmonicas and other
That's
smaller.
just a display case. That's not a weird thing. That's just a display case.
It's just a display case. It's literally what it is. It has harmonicas. It has like mouth harps or jaw harps. There's technically 2 different names for them. It has like a bunch of other smaller instruments.
How much are the harmonicas?
There are like 3 or 4 harmonicas here, ranging in. There is a small harmonica similar to one you found, like in the the bird nest. That one is like 3 silver, 4 silver. But then they're like the other 3 are like normal sized ones, and then they sort of differ in make and material, but the price of them doesn't deviate at all from each other. It's more of that it's just different preference or style.
Right.
Those run you about like 2 gold.
So this will try to they'll pick out. They're not too familiar with harmonicas, but they'll pick out one that seems would be the easiest to handle for a beginner like the kid.
They're
Kind of
all the
visual-
same make. Like, it's not a matter of like
Yeah.
they're made differently in the sense of like there's extra holes or better like
No,
whatever
no.
like grips. It's just material.
Yeah, but different materials for feel easier to play in instruments and whatnot. So they really do.
Metal band and sleeked wood. That's really all harmonicas are.
Yeah.
It's a matter of like, one's a bit more bronze, one's a bit more silver, one has a darker wood, one has a
I
brighter wood.
also get one that would probably blend in the best with other things. So something not too shiny and bright.
Yeah, there's like a bronze metal, like dark, not like
That one.
God, what's that wood called? It's an African wood, ebony.
Ebony.
It's not an
Yeah.
ebony wood, but it's something similar. It's like like dark. If we're using like fucking
Mhm.
Minecraft terms, it's like oak wood.
Oh, a dark oak wood.
Is
Yeah,
that
dark
why
oak
it's like?
wood with like a bronze.
Or spruce.
Is that why ebony and ivory are always like paired together because it's elephant
Yeah.
tusks and the wood in that region?
Mhm.
It's also
I
black
know,
and
I
white.
knew that. It's also
It's
black,
also black
and
and
white.
white,
It's also a fucking atrocity, but that's beside the point.
Well, less so on the ebony front, but yeah, definitely so on the ivory front. Anyways, though, yeah,
Yeah.
so there is like again like a dark oak and bronze banded one that
Is-
you can see there. 2 gold.
Is the display case something that is very clearly Silas is able to just like grab it, or do they have to get the person's attention for it?
It is locked, yeah.
Okay. So they'll mentally pick out that one in their mind, and then you don't have to, but like, what are the other two bigger ones look like? Like just
The harmonicas.
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, there's like a pale wood one which has like a silver band around it, so it's pretty bright and obvious. So that's one of them. The other one actually has a bit of like a striped patterning about it, like a diagonal, like almost like a chevron, except only half of a chevron patterning to it, which interlaces or alternates rather between this deep brown and then this like pale green.
Ooh.
Like fresh wood, like breaking like a baby
Mhm.
tree, like a sapling, yeah, like that. And then the band around this one is golden.
I'll also mentally pick out, funnily enough, the polar opposite ones, and then you said the shopkeep was where again?
He's behind
Was-
the desk
okay.
right now. Yeah, so
Yeah.
here, I just realized I could just draw this shit for you. So as of right now,
I would appreciate that.
yeah, I'll use gray. So yeah, as of right now, it's like here's what the shop looks like. There is like a receptionist table here. The harmonica display case is here. There is like a like a 2-tier shelf, which goes pretty tall for a tier. So like your foot to like your armpit is 1 tier, and then your armpit up is a 2nd tier. So like 2 shelves sort of thing. 2 there. There is like a display area here and here that for the window watchers and stuff like that. And then the doorway is here. Do a circle and there is
Door.
a rack here. And this one, there's a technically display here, but this one's not like a shelf, like a rack or anything like that. It's more of a a flat area, flat wide area, almost like a big table or like or like a war council or something like that in the middle there.
Cool. Cool.
The 1
Um,
and 2.
this shop wouldn't happen to have any bagpipes sitting around, would they?
Roll me to 100.
All right. Roll.
50-50. You got a divine intervention of that. What a shame none of you guys are a 10th level cleric. Yeah, they have bagpipes too.
Nice. What kind of prices are we looking at for the lower end bagpipes?
For a lower end bagpipe,
Like,
Wow.
I'm just looking for the cheapest option to get.
probably like
Yeah.
40 gold.
Yeah, sounds alright. Alright. Are those something Silas could just grab, or are they also?
You're able to go pick them up and stuff like that. Whether or not you're supposed to is a different story, but
I feel like
you're physically able to.
Silas, I don't feel like doesn't have like the thought to process to be like, maybe I shouldn't. So they're gonna pick it up. They're gonna be gentle about it and walk up to the counter with it, but they're gonna pick it up.
Yeah, you go over to this shelf rack over here. That's where it's at.
That number 2.
Yeah, and it's like held in its own, obviously not case, but like
Yeah.
pedestal. Yeah, you go over and you pick it up, and you can see the big guy next to you who's like eyeing the guitars, which are like over here, like to the bottom side. Look at you out of the corner of his eye and just raise an eyebrow, like, and like he looks at the bagpipes and looks back at you, looks back at the bagpipes, looks back at you.
Also look up at him, look to the guitars, look back at him. Do you need something?
I'm just wondering if you're actually any good at those. Personally speaking, every time I've heard bagpipes, it's not a pleasant experience. Put it like that.
They're not the prettiest, but I can play them they motion to the shopkeep. If they're willing, I'll play some in a minute, but I do plan on getting them first.
All right, I'm fresh out of beeswax to keep on me, but good to know.
And so I'll head over to the counter.
Yeah, this woman is talking with the shopkeep right now.
Yep.
About
He'll just wait patiently.
She's literally just talking to him about different string instruments and like which one's easiest to pick up, which one's easiest to learn. So physically pick up and hold versus easy to learn and stuff like that. And he's just like, yeah, there's, there are fiddles and stuff like that, violins. If you want to string them, it's a cello, but that's really big. All these different types of instruments. And he's like, well, technically a guitar is a string instrument, so, you can do that as well. And she's like, no, I want to do guitar. Everyone does guitar. Stuff like that. But eventually she says, like, okay, good to know. I'll be back in, like, an hour. I'll have gone over it with my partner. And then, we can go further on that. He's like, certainly. So she leaves the place. And he looks at you, who you're holding his bagpipes. I see you've made a pick.
Yes.
That's quite alright.
I would also like to grab a couple harmonicas.
A couple harmonicas, certainly. He reaches in, like, pulls out this key that dangles around his neck, like it's like 3 keys or so. More like 5, actually. He goes around behind the desk, goes over to the display case, cracks it open. Which ones? It's almost like ordering meat at a deli. Where he's like, his hand's in the case, and he's just looking at you as his hand's in the case. Which ones were you looking to get?
The pale one and the dark one there.
Certainly. Boop, boop. Closes it up, locks it back up, comes on over. So, these harmonicas, and I'm assuming the bagpipe, given that you're still holding it.
Alice nods.
Anything else you or your compatriots, he gestures at Alessander and Oriana, are looking to get?
Alice will look to the both of them.
I do not play any instruments.
Well, that's a shame, my friend. You should try. Playing music's good for the soul.
He is right. He's very right.
I prefer to listen.
That's something. Appreciation.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Actually, I'm much more looking for violins. I unfortunately lost mine recently.
Violence?
No, not violence.
Yeah,
violin.
If you look at over there, the shelves over there, towards the top section of it, those are our violins there. You look over there, and there are like 5 of them, sort of in a curved, like half circle formation, with their bows next to them as well. There's one of them that's considerably, I say considerably for a violin, smaller, like shorter by about a few inches.
Yeah, it's what's the term? Viola?
Yeah.
Hey.
So there are 4 violins, but like tank with the viola's a violin.
It's a different species. It has a different sound. She wants to go and inspect them, but she's not entirely inspecting them for how good they are. She wants to see if one of them is her violin that would have been in the bag, hoping that they just
roll me investigation.
I can add dice onto that, and God, I need it because I don't think I'm trained in it.
Take a bardic too.
I'll take a bardic. Okay.
Do it.
1 bardic, 1
14.
tensai.
Hey!
So,
Now watch it, it's not
14.
here.
28.
Watch it.
None of these are yours. No.
Damn.
They are violins of very fine quality, freshly maintained, so to speak. Like the edge and the back of them are relacquered and stuff like that. So they're very well maintained.
Right.
But
This
they're
man
not
knows what he's
yours.
doing. Yeah.
You can even with a 20 or 28, you can actually start to even smell a little bit of tinge, like the lacquer, so they're probably touched up on maybe this morning.
He takes very good care of his shit.
Proper shopkeeper should. I will say, actually,
Huh.
roll me your background.
Ooh.
Using wisdom.
This is something
Suck.
that you might know, but not know, or might notice, but not
Ooh.
notice.
Is an 18 noticed?
Well, okay, I probably shouldn't have even bothered asking. How socially aware is Oriana? That's a good start. It's a question that answers stuff, but doesn't reveal too much. Like, how much do you think Oriana would pay attention to, like, so to speak, just persuasion, deception, social stealth? There we go. Social perception, social stealth, social blah blah blah.
I think, like... I think she would... how do I describe this? I think she would have, at the very least, like, some basis of that because of, like, her training and where she was, like, mildly directed towards with it.
Okay.
So at the very least, that if she's on, like, a mission, which is kind of what she's doing right now by looking at the violins, it'd probably be, like, picked up a bit.
Do you want the information to be privatized or publicized?
Publicize, because that helps helps get advice from other people.
Okay. You do note that again, like, this is probably one of the only magic shop. Definitely not. Probably one of the only music shops in town, aside from the last pick. And again, there technically is a guy that sells instruments out there, but he's not really a shop. No more so than asking your buddy to help you fix your car makes him a mechanic professionally. Even if you buy him, even if you give him $50 and a beer afterwards.
Stop picking me.
This is a shop that caters to more of the common man, be it the actual common man or adventurers like yourself or whatever. So you guys, with a 20 investigation and the background roll, the shopkeeper is well accustomed to working with you guys. Not in the sense of like working with like, oh, I don't hate adventurers, in the sense of working with as in negotiation. Because every traveler barters.
Right, that's what was just happening.
And like proof of that is the guy that's here. He's not from around here. Like the accent tells you that. Right? So this place does cater to travelers.
As well as
right?
like,
because like
the
that guy over there
part
has
was
like
the
a
person that was just talking to.
bingo.
Like, oh, I'll go talk
Yeah.
to my partner. Da, 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 da. It's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, this like I'll go check in with my adventuring party and come back to you. This guy over here has an accent that's more on Alessander's area than anywhere around the Twins. Except
clocked
also in time, I guess. Also in time is a fun case. So yeah, you think you can negotiate?
I think I can negotiate, but the main thing I would want to negotiate is possibly information. Also, it's hard to negotiate when I have literally no money.
Sounds like you need to get a loan.
It's like I need a loan.
You've also got a bard with you that values music very much so.
Federal primary right now is 5%. Actually,
I
tell me what it is. It's right now. It's been going up. 6.5. Oh Jesus. Oh God. Feels bad for the poor suckers that have. Oh God. Fuck. Wonder.
Yeah, I
So-
think...
Oh, 6.25. It's gonna be 6.5 next month. Okay.
I don't know what to...
Is there anything you guys want to pick up? Other than Silas picking up stuff?
Yeah.
Not right now, but I do want a kind of inquiry of the other guy of being like... It's a very well maintained and very much worth the price. But... Unfortunately, is there anywhere that might be a little more affordable? Maybe like a secondhand shop that people tend to offload, like, I don't know, violins and musical instruments to. Do you happen to know?
Who are you asking us to?
Probably the shop owner, even if that's kind of rude. It's like, your shit's good, and I respect that, but I can't afford it.
So you've gone over. next to Silas.
Yeah.
And you ask that question out to the shopkeeper, and he does get a bit of a frown on his face as you're saying all that. Well, I am sorry, my shop is out of your budget. That being said, no, I don't particularly keep tabs on pawn shops, or worse, some sort of black market thing on other inventories.
Oriana, you hurting for coin?
Alessandra, we just got our bag stolen.
You don't keep any of it on you?
Well,
How much
she
do you
doesn't,
need?
apparently.
She just kind of like looks at Silas with like a stinging glare of just like, I'm just trying to avoid that line of logic or line of conversation.
You guys see that the big
Silas
guy,
shrugs.
the big guy looking at guitars gets a smirk on his face when he says like our bag has been stolen. He's just like, oh, don't I know the film? He's like, oh, and he just looks like he gives you guys a courtesy and looks away, like he tilts himself like 15 degrees to the right to look away from you.
This is like, damn right.
He's just, you can see he has like a smirk on his face, so he's just like, oof, awkward. I know that feel.
How much
Silas
do you
doesn't
need,
feel bad
Oriana?
for mentioning it.
How much was the violence again? How much were they? She wants to say no, but also she wants violence.
Silas will walk up and be like, which one do you want, Oriana?
There actually is a bit of price deviation between the violins. It depends entirely on the wood itself, as well as which I know isn't saying much. Of course, it's the wood itself and the fucking strings, because that's literally all the constituent parts of a violin. Just different qualities and rarities of the material, I guess is a better way of saying it. They range anywhere from 40 to 50 gold.
Looks at you.
So for simplicity's sake, there's one that's 40 gold, one that's like 42 gold, one that's 45, one that's 47, and one that's 50. There.
Would she be permitted to like test them real quick to see which one she likes the sound of most?
Don't you ask?
She
Make
asks
one.
if she can
Ask.
like test them out. Yeah, she does.
You may, but know this. You break it, you buy it.
Common policy?
Yeah, that usually tracks.
Hurry this along,
I'm
Oriana. We do have things to take care of.
All right, motherfucker. Yeah, she'll test out the.
Don't call Alec a motherfucker. His character's right to be saying that. You guys do have a list of things, as I can tell you guys discussing. Don't hit the
We
player.
do, but the information can't hurt us if we don't think about it.
I'm honestly, I don't even like super want the violin. If it's just more like trying to get information on if there is like violin trade going through here,
Then
where we could possibly
say
go
it.
to. I can't
Then
exactly
say
say
that.
that to his. Oh fuck it, never mind.
So what are you doing? Do you play the violin? Do you buy the violin? Do you guys just buy the bagpipes and harmonicas?
Just let them buy their thing.
Very well then.
Those will buy your
Oriana
thing.
looks at the violins, but decides against it. You guys purchase the bagpipes and the harmonicas, which would be, what did I say, 2 gold for the harmonica, so 44 gold out of your pocket,
Silas
Silas.
would... yeah.
And you guys are good to go.
Sweet.
Finally.
You need to shut up.
I need to go elsewhere. Excuse me.
Then
He's gonna head
get-
towards the cradle.
So, that's what you guys are doing in the music shop. What about Sir John Redan? Which I guess you guys are perched up outside the music shop, or you guys can go
Yeah.
somewhere else.
But I think as the others are coming out, unless Redain is doing something before that.
Just looking at that storm that's coming.
Yeah. As they're coming out, then overhear Sajar say to Redain, my mother, she reached back to me. kind of like you do with the sending, but it was slightly different. We had a conversation. There's so much I didn't know that I now know. She's safe. So is my sister and her children. They're not born yet, but she's expecting, and she's fine. They're with Nevi, I think. Weird how that connects. Shimandrax protects, so that's all well and good. But the important thing I was going to say, our messages, the sending, etc., that we've been utilizing, they may be surveilled. There's a chance that they're listening in.
Is that even possible?
I don't know. She saw something. I danced around the dream as much as I could. Don't want to put information that they can't handle yet in their minds. But she saw something when they were attacked, I suppose. It was very sudden. Something dark. The magic she used, it availed her nothing. And that scares me, Redain. My mother is terrified. My mother! She doesn't fear it. I can't even comprehend it. But bad news. There's always bad news. We don't know what happened to my father. They got separated in the attack. There is a chance that whoever took Silas's family also got to him. There is also a chance that he might not be there at all.
Do we think this is the Black Forces doing?
And they are somehow connected to whatever is going on with the Nightmare Imperium. We have to make it to the call.
I see. What about you, Silas? Did you get any information?
We would be out at this point, right?
You are now.
Yeah, I think you would have heard most of that.
Oh, okay. What was the question? Sorry.
Did you get anything specific about your parents missing?
No, just that they've been gone a couple weeks ago, and that's all really anyone saw. There was this letter left behind. And Silas will show Redain the letter.
Is Redain trained in history?
History, let me check. That's a no.
Okay, give it a raw disadvantage then. Let's see. What if he just gets like 2 nat 20s? Alright, well, I see I will eat my words and be wrong. All is well in the world. It is a fine parchment, or rather vellum note, that simply says in, fine calligraphy on it, "You were warned." Stamped with a wax seal with a flower embedded in it.
Yeah, rolling a disadvantage is just nat 1 farming simulator.
I don't even know if you have the most nat ones. Let's find out.
I don't think so. Shockingly enough, it's not Fred. He actually has a really good ratio of 1s to 20s.
You know, the reason behind that is because I try to roleplay in such a way that I don't have to make rolls at all.
He's fucking playing the game.
He also does have magical guidance.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, true.
Anyways, so yeah, that is what the message given over from Tertiana to Silas says, contains, literally.